Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take your source material articles, research, expert notes, and turn them into the essential briefing you need.
Exactly.
Today, we're focusing on strategic relocation. This is really for business travelers, corporate teams, anyone who's looking at an extended assignment in the Asia-Pacific region.
And we are zeroing in on one city in particular, Hong Kong.
Right.
When you think of Hong Kong, you picture the skyline, the energy, the food, all the glamour. But for anyone actually moving there long term, the biggest shock, it isn't the culture. It's the space.
Or the lack of it.
Or the lack of it, precisely.
And that's our mission today. We want to move past the glossy tourist brochures and really take a deep dive into the practical reality. How do you live comfortably and work effectively in one of the world's most dynamic and, well, densely packed cities?
It's all about managing the trade-offs. And for you, the listener, understanding these challenges before you even get on the plane is, I think, the most critical first step.
So it's about resetting expectations.
Completely. Success there really hinges on mental preparation and just a very realistic budget.
Okay, let's unpack this. The psychological and physical truth about Hong Kong living space. So the first thing I imagine that hits you as a newcomer is that collision. The collision between what you expect a home to be and what Hong Kong reality is.
It's jarring. It really is. If you're coming from, say, North America or Europe.
Anywhere with space, really.
Exactly. You just assume a certain scale of living.
Yeah.
And then you start looking at the apartment listings online.
And the shock sets in.
It's a fundamental shock.
Yeah.
Because in Hong Kong, land is so scarce that space itself becomes the ultimate luxury. We're not talking about just, slightly smaller apartments.
No.
We're talking about a total redesign of what living means.
So can you ground that with some hard numbers for us so you can really visualize what you're paying for?
Absolutely. So a typical studio flat, think of it like a very, very efficient hotel room.
Okay.
You're looking at under 300 square feet. And sometimes you see listings that dip as low as 120 square feet.
Wow, that is incredibly small.
It is. A comfortable one-bedroom unit might only get you between 300 and 500 square feet.
And what about for, say, a family?
Well, what passes for a family-sized three-bedroom flat, even in a desirable central area, you'll probably top out at around 600 to 900 square feet.
That forces a kind of extreme adaptation then. It's not just having less space, it changes your daily habits because the architecture itself forces you to.
It does. It requires what I'd call extreme optimization. Think about the design of those famous microflats.
Right.
It's all about maximizing every single cubic inch. So that translates to, very compact bathrooms, off their wet rooms.
Where the shower is just over the toilet.
Exactly. And kitchenettes that are barely wide enough for one person and a couple of induction burners. You just have to accept that every single thing you own has to serve multiple functions.
So what are the tactical non-negotiable solutions? If you can't just find a bigger place, how do you manage a small central space?
The shift has to be immediate. And I'd say it's threefold. First is verticality.
Using the walls.
Using the walls. High shelves, wall organizers, over-the-door storage. That's all mandatory. Second is multifunctionality. You have to invest in pieces that fold or expand or hide something.
Like storage ottomans, beds with drawers.
Beds with drawers, expandable tables, all of that. And third, and this is the hardest part for most people, ruthless minimalism.
That ruthless decluttering, that sounds like the biggest psychological hurdle. I mean, you could be moving there for a huge corporate job, but you have to immediately shed your old consumer habits.
That's the key insight. You realize almost instantly that if you buy something new, you're not just spending money. You're sacrificing valuable real estate inside your own home.
That would change your shopping habits overnight.
Instantly. You start to prioritize location and convenience so much that the cost of just storing stuff becomes too high, both financially and, emotionally.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because the price tag for this optimized, compact life is anything but minimal. Let's talk about the financial reality.
Yeah, the housing cost is, without question, the biggest financial shock for most newcomers.
It's just a different scale.
It's a completely warped cost-to-size ratio compared to almost any other major city. You're paying a huge premium for location and convenience, not for square footage.
Okay, so let's nail down some figures. We're talking monthly rent here. If you're looking for one of those smaller studios, say 150 to 250 square feet, in an area like Mong Kok or Jordan, what's the baseline?
You'd be starting at around 10,000 Hong Kong dollars, maybe up to 14,000. monthly.
So HK $10,000 to HK $14,000.
Right.
And what if you want a proper one-bedroom, 300 to 500 square feet, but in a prime area on Hong Kong Island, like Wan Chai or mid-levels?
Then you see a dramatic jump.
Yeah.
You're suddenly looking at HK $18,000 to maybe HK $28,000 per month.
And let's give people a mental map. When we say mid-levels, we're talking about apartments built halfway up the mountain right behind the main business district.
Exactly. You get quick access down to Central via that massive outdoor escalator system. You are literally paying for that immediate connection to work.
And for a family needing, say, 3 bedrooms, even if it's still just 700 square feet.
You have to move further out. You'd probably be looking in the new territories in areas like Sha Tin, and even there, you're still looking at HK $25,000 to HK $40,000 a month.
And luxury is just a whole other world.
A different stratosphere, a nice harbor view, or a place on the peak. You can easily be paying HK $60,000, HK $150,000 or more.
So if I'm trying to save a bit of money, the standard advice is often to look across the harbor in Kowloon, like in Sinshatsu. But is that slightly better value actually worth it?
That's the key strategic question you have to ask yourself.
Right, because there's a hidden cost in commute time.
There is. Kowloon is dense, it's vibrant, but your commute becomes longer, a bit more complex. Staying on Hong Kong Island, in Central, is about maximizing efficiency. You might save an hour a day. And in Hong Kong, that time is often worth the extra rent.
But if space is truly the #1 priority, then you have to head deeper into the new territories.
Yes, places like Sha Tin or Tai Wai, you'll get more generous square footage, bigger, more modern housing estates. But you're making a direct trade. Prime location for more space. Your commute could easily stretch to 45 minutes, maybe an hour each way on the MTR.
So you have to decide what you value more. 500 extra square feet or 10 extra hours a week not commuting.
That's the calculation everyone has to make.
Which makes the idea of actually buying property seem almost unbelievable.
It is astronomical. Hong Kong is consistently ranked as the world's least affordable housing market. A down payment is typically 30 to 50%.
50%.
And prices per square foot routinely go over HK $15,000. For most people on assignment, renting is really the only practical option.
So if housing takes such a massive chunk of your budget, what makes living there actually sustainable? What balances the books?
Efficiency, the city's infrastructure. The high cost of housing is offset by how affordable and world-class things like transport and food are.
The public transport system really is the hero of the story here.
Absolutely. The MTR is the city's backbone. Single trips are incredibly cheap, usually HK $4 to HK $20. You have the trams, the ferries. The system is so robust that most professionals don't even consider owning a car.
And the financial benefit of that must be huge.
Monumental. Just parking a car can cost you 3,000 to 5,000 Hong Kong dollars a month. That's before gas, insurance, anything else.
So using the public transport system isn't just a convenience, it's a core financial strategy.
It's a necessary discipline, yes.
And the other balancing factor is food. You have to embrace the local cuisine, right?
You have to. If you only eat at high-end international restaurants, your budget won't last. But eating at paying a classic Hong Kong cafe is essential. You can get a great filling meal for HK $40 to HK $80.
Which saves you thousands every month.
Thousands. And the food is fantastic and diverse. It's not a sacrifice.
Okay, so for business teams or someone on a longer assignment, say 3 months to a year, who wants to avoid that immediate stress of finding a tiny place and furnishing it? What's the starting point?
The practical solution is the service department. For any kind of extended stay, it's really the non-negotiable first step to ease into the city.
Because it's a soft landing.
It's a perfect soft landing. They come fully furnished, utilities and cleaning are often included, and it just cuts out...
And that's really where a specialist service comes in.
It is. I mean, for over 25 years, that's exactly what companies like Move and Stay have done. They connect business travelers with these extended stay solutions, not just apartments, but serviced offices too. It's about renting convenience so you can actually focus on your work from day one.
So, moving beyond the logistics, let's talk about the emotional and social side of things. Living in such a high-pressure, space-constrained city means you have to be really proactive about your own well-being.
You do. The city's rhythm is fast. It's demanding. Socially, work is the baseline for networking, but the real integration comes from joining in with local life.
Finding a hobby.
Finding a hobby. And given the geography, hiking clubs are hugely popular. It's a ready-made social circle right there outside of the office.
What about some of the cultural nuances, key things a newcomer should know right away?
Two things stand out. First, service can be very brisk. It's not rudeness.
It's just efficiency.
It's efficiency. Don't take the lack of small talk personally. Second, if you are invited into someone's home, which is a big deal given the space, always bring a small, thoughtful gift. Quality tea, some nice sweets. It shows real appreciation.
And language. Business is mostly in English, but how important is learning some basic Cantonese?
It's vital for your quality of life. English gets you through the meeting, but learning even just 20 key Cantonese phrases completely changes how locals interact with you. It signals respect and that you're trying to connect.
It helps you feel less like a temporary visitor.
Exactly. It makes you feel like you're actually part of the city.
So given the intense work culture and the sheer density of the city, finding ways to decompress isn't just a good idea. It sounds critical.
It's non-negotiable.
Hmm.
And this is where Hong Kong has this incredible, almost contradictory advantage. The city lets you escape almost instantly.
Right, from total urban chaos to nature in under an hour.
In under an hour, you can go from the high-rises of Central to a serene beach or a lush, challenging hiking trail.
That access to nature is kind of the city's secret weapon for stress relief. Trails like Dragon's Back are world famous, and you can get there on public transport.
It's how the city stays in balance. If you don't actively schedule that decompression time in nature, the pressure can become overwhelming. That unique blend of hyper-urban intensity and immediate natural beauty is really special.
Finally, let's touch on family considerations. For corporate transferees, this involves some pretty major financial decisions, especially around schooling.
Absolutely. The international schools are the default for most expat families, and they come with a very hefty price tag. You're easily looking at HK $150,000 to over HK $250,000 a year per child.
And that's just tuition.
That's just tuition. On top of that, there are often substantial debentures or capital levies you have to pay just to secure a spot. The waiting lists are long and very competitive.
And what about managing the logistics of family life in such a demanding environment?
Well, the solution many families adopt is to hire a domestic helper. It's a very common and culturally accepted practice in Hong Kong.
To help with childcare and household chores.
Exactly. It allows professionals to maintain those demanding schedules. Their salary is regulated, usually around HK $4,800 to HK $5,500 a month, and they are required to live in, which, well, that adds another dimension to managing your limited space.
It's another trade-off.
It's a necessary trade-off for balancing a career and family life in that specific context.
So, to summarize the core takeaway from this deep dive, Hong Kong demands a kind of radical adaptation. You are essentially trading spacious living and low housing costs for just unparalleled convenience, world-class efficiency, and that surprising access to nature.
So what does this all mean? It means your success there really hinges on realistic budgeting, especially for housing, and a willingness to prioritize location and lifestyle over square footage. If you can embrace that compact, efficient nature of the city, the rewards are immense.
So here's a final thought for you to consider. Given that even a short ferry ride can take you from the highest pressure point in the city to complete natural stillness, how might you intentionally design your extended stay schedule to ensure you're prioritizing that essential recharge time just as much as your professional demands? Something powerful to mull over as you start preparing for your Hong Kong assignment.